Three Chimneys Farm in Midway, Kentucky, and this is Seattle's Slew. Still at age 14, perhaps the greatest Cinderella story of the turf. Story has been told so many times of how Karen and Mickey Taylor bought him as a yearling for $17,500. His worth today, well, he's almost priceless. Unusual among the Triple Crown winners in that he was the first horse ever to go through the entire Triple Crown as an undefeated horse. The Taylors went to a Kentucky yearling sale with their friend and advisor, the veterinarian Dr. Jim Hill. Dr. Hill selected a dark brown colt by Bold Reasoning, who was a grandson of Secretariat sire Bold Ruler. They named him Seattle Slew, but at the Moncton, Maryland farm, where he got his early training from Billy Turner, they called him Baby Huey, after a clumsy but lovable comic strip character. He was clumsy. That and a minor injury prevented him from racing until September of 1976. Turner thought he had a good one, though. Slew won 2 races, then was sent into the Champagne Stakes as the favorite. He broke fast, went to the front and stayed there, winning the race by 9 3/4 lengths in the fastest mile ever run by a 2-year-old. He was turned out for the winner and named 2-year-old champion, coming back in an allowance race at Hialeah in early March. He won the 7-furlong race by 9 lengths. His insurance was increased from $2 million to $3.5 million. His jockey was the Frenchman Jean Cruguet. Man and horse seemed ideally suited. The first big race of the season was the Flamingo, and Slew made it look like an easy workout. After taking the lead on the clubhouse turn, he stretched it to 10 lengths before Cruguet got him to ease up. Turner didn't want him going too fast, so the lead dwindled to 4 lengths at the finish. Still, he ran the 3rd fastest time in 48 Flamingos at Hialeah. Turner continued his careful preparations and slowly got his colt ready for the Wood Memorial. 2 weeks before the Derby, Seattle Slew got his final test before his date with Destiny in Kentucky. It was the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct in New York, the race where Secretariat had finished 3rd before going on to the Triple Crown. Again, he made it look easy. After opening up a 6-length lead, he again was eased under Turner's instructions to a 3.5-length win. The dark brown colt was ready for Churchill Downs. Churchill Downs, under the Twin Spires, America's greatest horse race, and the favorite at 1-2 odds was the $17,500 bargain basement colt. Turner still was training the colt carefully with slow workouts. He was the most lightly raced animal in the field. There was some concern when Slew seemed to wash out in the crowded Churchill Downs paddock, a bad sign. But that was nothing compared to what would happen on the start. Now Slew was number 3. Watch, he came out high and sideways to the right, nearly unseating jockey Cruguet. The field was gone by the time he straightened out. But Cruguet went after the others immediately. Watch the black and gold silks as he finds himself behind a wall of horses, then begins to shoulder his way through, bumping another horse in the process. Remarkably, within a 1/4 mile, he was in 2nd place behind For the Moment. The half mile was a swift 45 4/5. Chick Anderson called the finish.
Seattle Slew moving away, now opens 2.5. Dusty Run driving up on the outside into 2nd. Steve Trent, here's Sanhedrin now closing also along the inside. Coming to the wire, Seattle Slew opens it to 4 lengths.
Seattle Slew now had proved that he could overcome adversity and that he could stay the distance of 1.25 miles even after he had been used severely. Soft-spoken Billy Turner was ready to praise him.
He broke slowly. He was shut off immediately. He had to overcome adversity, and then he went on to do what he's supposed to do, and this is a sign of a racehorse.
The horses were saddled in the infield for the Preakness, and as Cruguet climbed aboard, Seattle Slew was a 2-5 favorite. Only 2 of the Derby horses were there. One was the runner-up, Run Dusty Run. Slew got off to a decent start this time and ran head-to-head with Cormorant for the first 7 furlongs. Also in the field was the 2-year-old champion of England from the previous year, J.O. Tobin. He was 3rd choice, but never threatened. Run Dusty Run was 6 lengths behind at the turn. The mile was the fastest ever in the Preakness, and the final time would be the 2nd fastest official time. 1 more leg of the Triple Crown to go, and Seattle Slew still was unbeaten in his career. On to Belmont. 71,000, the 2nd largest crowd in Belmont history, came out to watch Seattle Slew try to become the first ever to win the Triple Crown while unbeaten in his career. He would have 7 opponents. The track was muddy as they started the long run around the Belmont 1.5-mile track. Slew had never run on an off-track before. Didn't bother him. He took the lead in the 1st quarter. By the stretch, it was evident that this was no contest. Cruguet piloted his mount home smoothly, and as you'll see, gave a gesture of victory as he came to the wire. The Triple Crown was won. The owners wanted their horse to run on the West Coast. Billy Turner resisted strongly, but the Taylors insisted. There was a serious break between them. Turner went, but he didn't like it. The trainer's judgment was borne out when Seattle Slew was soundly beaten. J.O. Tobin, who had disappointed in the Preakness, gave the Triple Crown winner his first loss by more than 16 lengths. It would be Slew's last race as a 3-year-old and Turner's last race as his trainer. He was fired by the Taylors and their partners, the Hills. The rift could